Thing should be working. This thing should be working. Alright, so as people tune in, if you guys want to go ahead and drop maybe like a comment to show me who's here, because I don't know who's watching, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If you guys missed this, you guys can probably go back to it and rewatch from the beginning and see what you guys missed. So basically, we're gonna start off. I'm really focused on two main stocks for the week. Um, Almost three, but I'm gonna go over specifically over two. So we're gonna start off um, by looking at the ETF and its future for natural gas, which is /NG, which is this one. Its correlating ETF is UGAS, and its inverse ETF is DGAS. So NG and UGAS basically do the same thing. When the future goes up, UGAS goes up, and when natural gas goes up, DGAS goes down. So they do the complete opposites, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for you guys as if I don't know what's happening, so you guys can see my breakdown process and you guys can see what I'm looking at to take a position. So I always start off with the future and see how the future is trading, right? So basically, at the 180-day chart, we see that it is an overall downtrending pattern, right? But from the beginning of March, I believe, yeah, March, to where we at now has been consolidating. So if I zoom in, we see a consolidation phase right here. As you see, my bottom support and my bottom resistance. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete those just so you guys can see a better visual. Okay, so we see that its future /NG tends to hit a support and bounce back up. As we see, it is done it. This one could count as one, but it's a little bit high, so I'm counting this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 times now that is bounced in this area. So I'm gonna draw my support line, which is like my imaginary line, right, around this general area. And then its resistance, which is where it tends to push back down. So we see it push back down when it reaches highs of this area. So we see it 1, 2, 3 times. So around this general area, right? Then we see another resistance in this general area as well, but I'm not gonna look at that right now. So basically, what I have here is my overall support and resistance for this area. So now that we're looking at that, we can see that the future for /NG, which is natural gas, we can see that it's overall in the higher area, so it's closer for it to pull back. So on top of that, we see the RSI being overextended, which means it's overbought. So when the graph is much higher in the red area, means it's usually gonna fall back down. Also, we see the MACD, the green bars, when they start to curve and curve back down, it's meaning starting to pull back down. So one of two things are going to happen here, right? I'm gonna zoom in. This thing is either going to pull back all the way back down to its previous support levels, or it's going to push down to this blue line, which is the EMA line, and continue to push back up until it hits its previous resistance. So it's in a general area where you need to be careful and make a decision and be patient, right? So what I see here is it's overbought, it's overextended, the RSI. So I believe personally that it'll push back down. So when natural gas pushes down, the inverse, which is degas, goes up. right? And if we go ahead and look at DGAS, we see another. If we look at DGAS, it also has a same pattern of support and resistance levels here. So we can see it's very, very low. The RSI is very low, and the MACD is getting towards the low levels. So that means we are in a position for a reversal for it to push back up, and we could potentially regain about 50% position. That is insane, you know? And it's done it once, twice, three, four times now where it's regained that amount of percentage, which is ridiculous, right? But so because we're at this level, we can see it push up to this EMA line and continue to come back down. We can see it go all the way back up to its previous highs of around $340. So looking at this at /NG during the day, we can see that it's starting to move already because it's Sunday and Sunday opens around 7 o'clock, and it pushed up a little, but it's starting to come back down. So the way NG trends is that if it's in between the purple and yellow lines, it always tends to downtrend. When it switches above the purple line, it'll start to uptrend. That's usually how NG trades. So if this thing just starts to go back down, it'll continue to go down. DGAS will continue to rally up throughout the week. So we're in a position where you have to be patient, right? So for DGAS, what I would say is I believe that it's going to push up and it'll become overextended around the $260 mark, right? Now, if it breaks above the EMA, it'll push all the way up to around $340 just to play it safe. If not, it can get rejected and we can buy into UGAS once it hits the EMA line, and it'll push back down here and UGAS will go up. So that's what I see for NG. And for those of you guys who don't really understand or see what's going on, if you're in my course, I will retype it out for you guys to see what my position and planning is for this specific trade. But I see potential for a lot of gains, and DGAS, we just have to be patient and careful. Now my next ETF or stock that I'm looking at is at TQs. So first we're going to look at its future, which is /NQ. We can see that even though the market had a crazy crash here, it's already recovered a lot, ridiculously a lot, right? And in favor of TQs, so it is correlating with the Nasdaq. So the reason I prefer TQs over SQs always is because it's in correlation with the Nasdaq. And if you look at the 3-year chart, it's an overall uptrending pattern. So patterns and something that's uptrending is always has the favor over anything else, right? So let's take a look at the chart here. So it has pushed up a lot and is very, very overextended and overbought for no reason, right? So, and it's doing that because our economy is pushing back up, so there's so much hype of it going up, but this closure of our economy it's going to put us into a recession. So with TQs and SQs, you need to be very careful because we don't know. One day, like it's been pushing up consistently, but we don't know when this market is going to drop again. So this isn't something, even though it's been making crazy gains overnight, this isn't something I believe we should swing trade at all or hold over a couple of days, because we don't know when the economy is going to start to fall back down again, because it will, because this isn't something that's going to fix over a month period of time. This is going to take a couple months, even a couple years, because of how bad our economy shut down, right? So when it starts to make lower lows and push back down, it'll be in favor of SQs. But as of now, from the day to day, TQs was pushing up, right? So it's been consistently pushing up. We got overextended, and now the MACD is reversing. We hit the EMA line, and just like always, it hits the EMA line and pushes back up. It hits the EMA line, and we could continue seeing it go back up if the hype hasn't ended of the economy opening back up. So as of right now, it's kind of in a consolidation phase, right? And around this area. Whoops. Okay, so it's consolidating within this area. And usually consolidation means a change of pattern, right? So let's look at, let's see, maybe 5 days. So it pushed it pushed down the SMA line. It was right in the SMA line. It pushed up. It consolidated. Like I said, consolidation is a change of pattern. It pushed back down. It's consolidated again. And so what do I expect it to do? I expect it to push up, right? So I would say the confirmation for it is when NQ breaks its previous resistance at 88.08, and it'll be its confirmation for TQ to push up. But we just have to be patient and see how it acts, right? Because TQ is an overall uptrending pattern. We just have to be careful because of it's been reacting to news, and the Nasdaq has been ridiculous and been trading like crazy. So overall, I have my eyes on TQ as an overall uptrending pattern. It's based on the Nasdaq. The economy is opening back up. There's a lot of hype. We just have to be careful that when that hype dies down, that it could start pulling back and making and go way lower than it was before. So my eyes are in TQs. We just have to be careful how we trade this. Another one is some long-term investments that I see. I just want to share with you guys. You're so clear compared to the other guys. Okay, thank you. Um, so Facebook, right? Facebook is a big, strong company, and I believe it has the power to grow a lot more than it has. It's helping. It's helping a lot of different companies with the whole situation that's going on. And as far as we become more in this lockdown and more in the internet, Facebook will grow even more. And so, even though it's pushed down tremendously, I believe Facebook will continue to grow, and it'll be a long-term investment overall, right? Another one would be BA, which is Boeing, the airplane company. It crashed dramatically. Its ROI, which is return of investment, is ridiculous. It's close to about 130, 140% if you play it out right. So the reason I have my eye on this is because airplanes are essential. It's a necessity for business and for the economy. So whether it doesn't matter that right now, yes, it's really bad, but like I said, airplanes are a necessity, not just for us, but for the entire world. So when things start to pick back up again, which may not be now, may not be this month, but in the future, this thing will definitely go back up, and its return of investment is about 130%, which is good for those who want, who are okay with holding over a period of time. Now another one I have a lot of faith in are Tesla and also Uber, and I'll explain to you guys why. So overall, Tesla is an extremely strong company right now. It's revolutionizing or evolutionizing the world. It technically has no competitors, and it is believed to become around a 1.5k stock. So it'll probably double in price within the next 1 or 2 years possibly, and it'll just continue to grow. It's already bigger than Ford, and I forgot what was the other company, but it's only been around for a few years and it's already bigger than those companies. So it's even during this time of the coronavirus, it's performing really well, and that's the reason why if we go here to the 180 day, it's pushed up like crazy. This isn't based off hype. This is all based on belief and how it performs and how people believe that this company will change the world. So if you want to hold it long term, I would say it's a good thing to hold. But like I said, I believe there's a very strong possibility for us to go into another crash. So if you would want to take the risk and wait for it to come back down, and then buy it there and hold longer or wait for the recovery, it's a good position to take. Also, as well as Uber. Uber, explaining it more into detail, it's also a fairly new company. I believe it's going to grow a lot more. People believe and analysts say it'll become a $50 stock, which is almost a double of the price of what it is now as well. And if you think about it, right now we're technically still shut down. So when the economy opens back up, this thing is going to shoot up, right? So it's about a 50% position. The economy, once it opens back up, is going to shoot up. What are all the unemployed people going to do? They're going to need jobs. They're going to need to find something to make money. What is the easiest thing they can do? Just drive people around, right? Things are going to be slow at first, but people are going to have to find ways to move and make more money. And what is the easiest option? Uber, right? Using their own cars. So I have a very strong belief in Uber. It's recovered like crazy within the past few, even 10 days. And I believe overall it's a stock that will completely grow with because of what happened. So overall, I have my eyes on Uber, Tesla, TQs, and DGAS. For people who are, those are pretty much my breakdowns for the week. But mainly for the this week, I have my eyes on DGAS and TQs. More long term is Tesla and Uber. Just paying attention to how they perform. For those of you guys who are in my course, I will be showing you guys. I will be writing that down and explaining my positions so you guys can see and remember what I say throughout the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. For those of you guys who don't understand what I mean by position size, basically, this is how you grow your account. So, for example, if it goes up about 53%, that means you make 50% of your money back. And if this happened last time within, let me see, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, that means you would make half of your money plus. So, for example, if you would invest 1,000, you would have made an additional $500 for holding over the week. So basically that's how it works. So it's by percentages. I like to view my things by percentages. So it's just growing your account consistently. The more you have to invest, the more you get in return. So it's just for those of you who are new and don't really know how this really works. Basically is, as you learn, you go with a smaller amount, and as you add to your position, add to your investment and grow your accounts more and more, your investment returns will grow day by day, and sooner or later you'll see returns, way bigger than when you initially started, right? Because when I started, my returns were very little, and now my returns are much bigger because I've been consistent with it and growing my account size. So my percentages per day have been growing. So hopefully, for those of you guys who missed the entire breakdown, you guys can look back. If you guys have any questions, you guys can personally, message me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video.